Alright guys, I hope you're good. Today we are checking out a new reverb plugin from Baby Audio called Crystalline. They sent it to me for free. I've been testing it out for a few days and I really like it, so I wanted to make this video as well as a blog post, which is linked down below in the description box about it. And I thought let's just maybe do a quick introduction first, check out the different features, and then I had this track running on the background, just a little quick loop I made with some different elements, and we'll see kind of what we can do with Crystalline with this track. So it's a reverb plugin. Baby Audio says it's meant to sound like state-of-the-art, modern, pristine reverb. It's an algorithmic reverb. It's not meant to sound like any real space. It's more like I believe they actually say it's meant to sound unreal in the in a good way. Sound-wise, I think it's definitely on the smooth side. Sounds it's not, you're not gonna really get any lo-fi type of sounds out of this. It's a smooth reverb. It sounds good. It sounds good in small spaces. Sounds good in big spaces. You can get some pretty surreal things, like a small space with a really long decay, or the other way around, like a large space with a small decay. You get gating, all kinds of fun things to play around with. You can really get really creative with this one. That's what I like about it. But let's just start going through the interface, and I will take it from there. I like the interface. It's fairly minimal. What you see is what you get. There's no menu diving, nothing. It's all right here. The only menu here is the preset menu. There's quite a lot of presets to work with as well if you like that kind of thing. Personally, I usually with reverbs I just like to shape them myself. We have this is in the dark mode now, and we have this white interface as well. I prefer the dark mode. It's easier on my old eyes. It's completely resizable, as you can see. I really like this type of plugins that sometimes you get the resizable plugins and the text stays the same size, and I don't really see the point in that. But yeah, they've done it properly, so that's nice. We've got in the top menu, works as a bypass. Also on this side, which is nice to have the bypass inside the plugin interface. A lot of manufacturers don't do that, and they forget. Many DAWs have this bypass over here. But for instance, if you're using Ableton Live, they don't have a bypass button in the plugin window. So it comes useful to have this here. Otherwise, you just always have to reach for the bypass somewhere else it's just a drag. We got ways to load presets and save presets here. We have tooltips here, which is quite nice. It's always a good thing to have. We have eco mode for CPU friendly use. We can set a default setting here and load a default setting if you want to return back to it. All nice features. Actually turn the tooltips on here. So regarding the interface is split into a few different sections. So we've got reflections here. We have cleanup. We have depth, shape, and then we have this timing things and a couple other things in the center section. Works quite nicely. I think it's well thought out, and all of the controls are really meaningful and useful. There's not too many controls, which is, sometimes I prefer to use reverbs. If I really want to craft something, I want to use something that has a ton of options, like the TC or the Lexicon PCM bundle, which I both own. You can really go really deep with those reverbs, but then there's it takes a lot of time to work with those guys, and sometimes you just want to something that can really get you keep you in the creative flow, and you can just shape things real quickly, and this is exactly the type of plugin that can do that. So we have let's just start growing from the top left. So we have the size here. We have 5 different sizes, reverb sizes available, from tiny to spacey. We have a sparkle, just adds some top end to the reverb algorithm. We have width, so we can turn this, make it completely mono, or make it extra wide. Works quite well. You'll hear all this later. I'm just gonna run through the features first. Over here we have the reverb start time, so this is the pre-delay. And the cool thing about this plugin is you can synchronize it to the tempo of your song. So you can have it in the traditional milliseconds mode if you just want to set it like this, but you can also sync the pre-delay as well as the decay time, so the length of the reverb to the tempo of the song you're playing. It's a really useful feature, at least for me. So kind of leads to a cleaner, more precise sound. You can, if you want to have your, for example, reverb exactly 1 bar long, this is how you do it. Yeah, you can really get some nice rhythm effects going on with this, especially paired with some of these other things like the gate here. So this is the pre-delay time, they call it the start, and then this is the end, which is the reverb decay time. We have damping here, so this is just cutting out the lows or the highs from the reverb. We have a really nice feature here, which I think should be part of a lot of different plugins, but especially reverbs. And this is the ability to make the mono the lows of the reverb. So sometimes you get with reverbs you often get the lows really splashing on the sides of the stereo image, and kind of tends to create a muddy and mushy effect on the mix, and this allows you to mono the lows below the chosen frequency. It's really nice. We have gate here, so this is the threshold, so the point where the gate starts activating, and this is the release time, so how fast it shuts down. We'll see that in action later. We have resolution here, so this affects the CPU use. We have basic, high, and pristine mode. Pristine mode is the most detailed one. This is the one I prefer most of the time. Sometimes with some reverbs I really like the kind of make them really lo-fi and grungy, but you really, if you turn this to basic, it doesn't really get any grungier at all. It still stays smooth and nice, just a little less detailed. So with this reverb, I definitely most of the time prefer the pristine mode myself. We have modulation here, so this one just adds a little bit of variation to the reverb algorithm, so kind of keeps changing a little bit. Shimmer. This one adds to the, so you have the delay time, the decay time here, and this adds to the decay time. So let's say we have this set to the max, which is 10,000 milliseconds here. Where it's set to the max, then we turn on the shimmer, it will add to this time, and it will make the decay of the high frequencies longer. So for example, we have this 2 time setting here, it makes them 2 times longer, let's say above 2 kilohertz, or we can make it 4 times longer or 6 times longer, above 2 kilohertz, 4 kilohertz, or 8 kilohertz. So it just creates a nice, it's a really nice effect on pads and things like that, for example. We have a ducker, which is really, really nice to have. It's what it does is kind of ducks the reverb tail until the source sound goes away, and then it lets the reverb come out. It's a really nice way to create space in a mix. Many times reverbs tend to have it. It's really easy to make the mix sound really muddy and full of reverb. With this one, you can kind of control it in an organic and a dynamic way. It's especially nice on vocals, but it really works on all kinds of things like drums and many kinds of things, and I really like it. And you can also you have a gentle mode, and you have when you have this gentle mode turned off, it's quite a lot more aggressive, which is actually how I prefer it often times. We have a reverse here, so it just reverses the reverb tails. It's really nice for special effects. Again, when you pair this function with syncing the start and end times to the rhythm of your track and the gating and the reverse and all kinds of things, you get to a pretty interesting territory there. We have freeze, so it freezes the reverb tail. It's really nice, especially for automating. Then over here we have our shape section. So this is the tone. This is like a tilt EQ. So you can tilt it more towards the highs or more towards the lows. It works really well. Smoothing, it's kind of like the same thing as the tone here, but it doesn't. It's not exactly a tilt EQ. So this way it sounds sharper, and then you start making it more rounder. It applies a certain EQ curve to the, as I understand it, to the reverb output, but it's not exactly a tilt EQ. It's more like something that works a little bit differently to the tilt EQ, but kind of complements it nicely. So you can set your overall balance with this one, and then you can use this to kind of make it sharper or rounder if you like. If you want really something to pop out, you can make it really sharp, and then, or if you want kind of stick into the background more, just fine tune it over here. Then we come to the possibly the most interesting feature of this reverb. I think it's something I haven't seen applied in any other reverb so far. Is the ability to trigger the reverb more based on transients rather than or sustain. So you'll hear it in a sec in action, but it's easier probably to show you than to explain it. But if you turn it this way, the reverb reacts more to the attack of part of the sound, so the transient part of the sound. Whereas you turn it over this way, it starts to react more to the sustain and sounds rounder, smoother, and then it just sounds more aggressive this way. And again, it's a really nice way to shape the reverb in a mix, where you kind of first set it up the way you like, and then just start playing around with this and see how the effect changes. Usually you can find many different kind of settings that work, then it just comes down to the to aesthetics that you prefer. It's also a nice, I find it's a nice parameter to automate. So if you want to kind of make the reverb a little bit more, a little bit lively, a little change and evolve a little bit, you just kind of slowly let this evolve and make some automations. It's just really cool. So that is it. That's the all of the features. I think at this point we'll just jump straight into it and kind of listen to how it sounds and see what we can do with this. Let's start working with the pad sound here. Let me just turn this up. It's already sounding nice. Let's turn it up even more. Let's go full wet. So we are on the medium algorithm here. I'm thinking for this track we could actually turn this reverb into something really, turn this pad into something really lush. So maybe even go full wet, see what happens. Maybe kind of make it super wide. So let's just demonstrate the features here. So we go for mono. Super wide. Sparkle. As the nice top end in there. We are at 4 bars now. It's the maximum length. That's the one thing I kind of wish we could even do even longer reverbs. Yeah, just something I'd love to go full on drone mode with this. You can do that with the freeze, but it's different than just having a really long decay time. I kind of wish they'd add this, maybe something like 30,000 or 50,000 even milliseconds. But yeah, so let's see. We have definitely want to add some modulation to this one. So you can see it kind of adds a kind of chorus type of sound effect in there. Maybe just reduce this a little so it's easier to hear. Try different sizes here. Try and go really small. I think we're gonna want to keep it pretty big for this one, maybe the large. We have the shimmer. Now right now we are 6 times at 2 kilohertz, so it makes the highs 6 times longer from 2 kilohertz upwards. That's a nice effect. Maybe we could, I think it sounds a tad muddy, so take out some of the lows. But I probably want to keep the highs, in this case, pretty bright. So with the sides, I think we want to mono out the sides as well, because we're going so wide. Probably want to go even wider. We'll adjust this with the mix playing, but as we're going wide, I don't want that to clog the lows to clog the sides of the stereo image. So kind of turn it up a bit somewhere around there. We're not gonna do the gating for this sound. Turn it off. Then we have here the tone, so we can get a darker vibe going, or a brighter one. Let's put this to 0 and check the smoothing here. So sharper sound here, and a softer one. I think we can kind of like the highs, so we can keep this sharp. Now we have this, with this type of sound, this one it's not gonna have such a dramatic effect. It's more affecting the volume rather than anything else, because the sound is basically just sustained in itself. But we'll try this with some of the drum sounds, and you'll feel the difference better with that. Let's play the track. Bypass. Sounds quite big. Just turn it down a bit. Alright, I'm happy with this. Let's try it with still. So as we turn up the width, we can make this even quieter. Still comes through nicely. mix, room in the mix for the other things. Sounds completely different. Maybe make it a bit shorter, something like this. Bring slightly the dry back as well, just slightly. Probably don't want to use the ducking here as well. It's kind of like the same with the transients. Doesn't really matter with this type of sound. What we could try, just for fun, is the reverse here. So go forward. It's pretty interesting how it comes up with that. The ducking effect, how that happens, I don't know. It's quite interesting. I actually haven't heard that before. Is it related to the... No, it's not related to that even. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, there you go. I think in this case I will just keep it going like this. Okay, let's switch to a different sound. With the bass here. So with this one, we could try the transient feature here. Let's see how it works. So we are at our 50% wet here. Let's turn this to the check. It's a nice way to shape the reverb. With this one, I think maybe give something quite small. Also, don't want to make it too wide. Definitely cut the lows. We maybe just add a little bit of space to the sound. Let's see just the reflections here. See how it sounds a lot softer when just reacting to the decay of the sound, whereas it sounds completely different with the when it reacts to the transients. It just comes down to what works in the mix and what you prefer. It's a nice way to shape reverbs. I think I'd love to see this on other plugins as well. I'll maybe turn the shimmer off here. I usually like to keep some modulation. I kind of like my music to sound a little bit organic and, kind of lively. Resolution to pristine. With this one, we could actually use the ducker as well. So let's turn this. Let's put this to the more aggressive mode. You see how it kind of jumps out the reverb. So it ducks the reverb when the bass step is playing and then just jumps out after that. It's a really nice way to create some rhythmic effects in your track, or just if you just want to go clean, gentle, you can just kind of clean things up slightly. It's basically two quite different things. The gentle mode is just for cleaning things up a little bit, making the mix sound nicer, and then you can just start going some really aggressive. That's the thing. I think with this plugin, a lot of the controls are calibrated really nicely. So they really, you can see they put attention to how things sound, how things work. and what's useful. Sometimes you get, with some plugins you get a lot of controls that are not really useful, or you kind of end up wishing they'd done it something differently. With this one, I mean, yeah, there's some things like I mentioned. I'd love to have longer decay time, but just minor things. The controls itself is quite useful, I think. It produces good results, and it's fun to tweak. The experience is good. Okay. Turn this up a little. Maybe try the gate here. So this cleans up the end of the reverb, where the darker kind of brings it up a little bit late, and then this takes out the end, the tail. This cuts it off real quick, or we can just cut it slower. So this is the Phil Collins drum sound. That you probably know this sound from the 80s. Yeah. Sounds nice. Just turn it down a little bit, maybe. There we go. Just give it a bit of dimension to the bass. What else we want to do? Well, maybe we have a clap here. So let's see what we can do with this clap. I'm just going to copy this here. Maybe make it longer. Let's try the spacer here. Turn off the gate. Make it 2 bars. Kind of like this long 4-bar reverb here. Let's try play with the pre-delay here. Turn off the ducker. You can make it come out really late if you want. Doesn't really make sense with this sound, but yeah, just wanted to show that. Turn to shimmer here. Maybe a bit more sparkle. Or maybe a bit less. Yeah, I like that. Let's try the transients here. This sound again, basically just only transient, so I don't know if it's meaningful to. Well, let's see. Oh, it does affect it quite a bit actually. So it's a lot softer here. Yeah. We'll keep it in the middle. That's fine. All right. Maybe we still have it. Hi-hats, percussion, and a kick. Let's see what we can do with the hi-hats. It's already sounding nice. I wouldn't make it that loud, but it's already sounding kind of nice. Kind of like the smooth, airy quality it has. Really nice. Maybe just reduce it. Definitely adds a nice texture in the background. I just thought of something I'd love to have in this plugin would be the AB function. I have that in Cubase here, but a lot of DAWs don't have that. It would be nice to have some different slots because it's such a creative plugin. You can try so many different things in such a short period of time, and I'm getting all these ideas and I'd love to try them. And yeah, as I said, I can do that with the Cubase AB here to switch between 2 different types of sounds, but it'd be nice to have like 4 different slots here to kind of switch between. Can make this really airy sound and then try something completely different, see what works best. But yeah, let's just start messing with this. Maybe try some rhythmic stuff with this. Yeah, I don't really know if that works. Just messing around. A lot of the time my process is looks like this. I'm just goofing around, see what happens. With plugins like this, I think it's a fun thing to do. All right, so that's kind of giving us a little more like a shaker vibe. Maybe make it more towards the center. We can use these controls to shape the sharpness of the vibe. We want something really smooth, or maybe in this case we want to go sharp. So now it sounds kind of like a shaker. You can play with the end time, maybe turn it to the milliseconds here, so we have seamless control. This would be again another nice thing to automate. It would be cool to have modulation here. So we have this modulation for the algorithm itself, but it would be cool to have a modulation for the different parameters as well. Maybe some LFOs, maybe some step type things. It's something quite simple, but and also ability to kind of have random modulations. So I could make these things move a little bit. That'd be really nice. You can always do that with automation, but it's nice to have a plugin that can create systems in itself and create you can just stay within the plugin interface and play around with it and play it like an instrument, create something interesting. I'd really like to see some modulation capabilities here. All right. I think I prefer the original sound with the hi-hats. Kind of lost it, but it's definitely more smoother somewhere along these lines. Yeah, I like that. You know what, one more thing I just realized, we could try the reverse here. Let's try the reverse. So there we go, we get some quite nice, side turning type of sounds here. So this, again, gives us a completely different vibe. There's so many different things you can do with this plugin. Alright. I kinda like this, I kinda like this. Yeah, it sounds nice. We'll keep it at this. Alright. Let's just try it with the percussion as well. With this, we could create some interesting and try to do some rhythmic effects here. Kind of like this. Make it a bit tighter. It just turns off completely because the gate shuts it down. I prefer the sharper sound in this case. Yeah, I don't know if it's too much. Let's see it. Or you could just go full width. Nah, you don't want to go full width. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Yeah, just a quick introduction to, I think, it covers the features of the plugin. Let's just hear everything bypassed one more time. There we go. Let me know what you think. I quite like this plugin. It's a different take on reverb. It's more focused on being creative, having fun, tweaking around, quickly creating different types of sounds. Some things I kind of miss with. I kind of miss a as I mentioned, it would be nice to have some kind of modulation. I'd like to have a longer decay time option as well. Maybe an option to kind of get some gritty lo-fi type of sound as well. It would be cool to have a beat crusher in here, you know. Maybe inside the algorithm, I mean, you can always put a beat crusher after the reverb or before the reverb, but it would be nice to have a beat crusher in the tank of the reverb, so you kind of play around with that to get some more grungy sounds, like a lot of those algorithmic reverbs in the 80s used to do. I actually have a bunch of outboard 80s old vintage digital reverbs here. I really like the quality of those gritty sounds you can get out of those. Would be cool to have that, something like that. So I like the smooth sound of this plugin, but it would be, and I think it would be a useful addition to have more gritty type of option as well. Another thing, maybe something doesn't really bother me much, but it doesn't have an output volume control at all. So it kind of balances. It does quite a good job at balancing the as you switch with the dry wet slider here. It does quite a good job at balancing the volume. Sometimes I find it kind of makes things a little bit quieter. So I kind of wish there would be an option to adjust that manually, but I get why they didn't do that though. They probably wanted to keep it as simple as possible and automate those types of things. Yeah, I get that. So I think they've done a good job. Yeah, it's a cool plugin. The price is $49 for the introduction, so $49 for the introduction offer, and then the normal price is $99. Is it worth it? I think I'm of the belief that if you find it useful, if you find it gives you something useful, if you need it, then it's gonna be worth it. And then if you don't need it, it's not gonna be worth it to you at any cost, even if you get it for free. There's always cost involved, even with that. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. $49 for the introduction price, and then it goes up to $99. Try out the demo. I've got the link in the description box below. Also, I have a blog review where I cover some of these same things, maybe in a more organized way. So maybe you wanna check the blog post out as well. Overall, I think it's a well-made plugin. It's nice to use. The interface is clean. The controls are well calibrated. Sounds nice. It's fun to play around with. Really fulfills the purpose of creative reverb. I'm still, I'll be using this a lot, but I'm going to be using some other reverbs for when I really want to tweak something and go really deep in the engineer mode. But this is not that kind of plugin. This is, just kind of something that can give you really quick results, and it's more like creative things and something that is a lot of fun to use. So good job, Baby Audio. Thumbs up. I'm going to leave it at this. If you like the video, give me a like, give me a subscribe. It really helps out the channel, helps me keep doing this. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.